It's been a long time dream and goal finally coming together and unfolding. So it's really such a delight to always come and be here and talk with all of you about what sobriety and what's the next steps and what awaits us. And really, this membership is designed for you if you've built a strong, sober foundation. So it's not a stop drinking membership, it's a what's next. So I'm going to illustrate it to you in a little story because I love stories. And the story has 5 chapters, and I promise you each chapter is short. So in chapter 1, I wake up in the morning, I go for a walk, I fall into a hole. I have no idea how I got here. I struggle and struggle, and eventually I get out. Chapter 2, I wake up in the morning, I go for a walk, I fall into the same hole, but now I recognize it. I still struggle, but eventually I get out. Chapter 3, I wake up in the morning, I go for a walk, I fall into the same hole, but now I know how to get out quicker, and I get out quickly. Chapter 4, I wake up in the morning, I go for a walk, I see the hole, so I walk around it. Chapter 5, I wake up in the morning and I take a new path. And that's really where Path to Purpose fits in. So some of you might recognize this as your sobriety story in chapters. It certainly was mine. And then I took a different path. And this path is the path of intention versus default. This is the path when you ask yourself, okay, so now I'm no longer falling into the hole. I no longer have to miss it. But now what? Where does this path lead? And it's really a path, that's, like I said, of really starting to become very intentional rather than living your life in default pattern. So when I had built quite a substantial foundation in sobriety, I came to a point where I felt like, now I'm sober, nothing's really changed. I'm just somebody who doesn't drink, but most of my life still looks pretty much the same. Still don't like my job, still have difficult relationships in my life, still fighting with my husband, still have health issues. I'm still not sleeping well. After 3 months, I was not sleeping well and I was inflamed. I remember going to the chiropractor and because I was in so much pain, and he said, I can't help you. You have to go and see a doctor. You are so inflamed. And that's what I then had to do. I had to slowly start really recalibrating my beautiful mind and my beautiful body and my spirit that's living inside. So I think that our spirit is our beautiful life force. And I had to recalibrate it all to really start thriving in my sobriety. And along the way, I got a really good coach, and she shared some tools with me that when I applied them were life-changing and transformative. So that I went from hating my job, having difficult relationships in my work, to 4 years later, actually leaving that corporate job happy, fulfilled, happy and excited about my next step, which was going into becoming a full-time coach. My marriage had come back together from time apart, we reconnected, and now we were living on an island. My relationships had started to flourish. The relationship with myself was where it all began. So you'll see in my Path to Purpose membership, I really take you along the tools as I encountered them. And now 7, 8 years later, some of them I've deepened. I've done additional neuroscience courses with them, neuropsychological courses, so that my tools are very much the same, but they keep deepening. And as does my self-awareness. So it's a lifelong journey, but I also see it as this year I'm learning a 4th language. I'm learning to speak French. And really struggling. I'm learning like maybe a sentence a week, if, and I have to keep repeating it. And my French coach says to me, it's okay. That's how we learn. So we apply and we learn and we think we're getting nowhere. And she said, I promise you, in 6 months' time, you'll have a conversation in French. Because if you keep applying and you keep doing, and you keep every day doing a little, eventually it will all come together so fast. And that portal in your brain is going to be open for you to like learn the language. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm trusting the process. Something else exciting is happening, which also reminds me of my early sobriety, where I started to really engage with learning and applying the coaching tools. And that is a sense of aliveness. I also experienced it when I went for my first Nia class, and I started then learning how to do Nia dancing. I would leave. It was so difficult. I couldn't do the moves. And then one day it all just came together. But every time I went, no matter how much I struggled with it, I felt alive. And the same thing is happening to me in my French. And that's why I embrace lifelong learning, but not just learning, because knowledge that we just absorb and consume is useless unless we really apply it. So now here in my beautiful little country, I am starting to speak to the woman at the bakery who serves me, bonjour, comment vas-tu? How are you? And she's laughing at my pronunciation. And it's just, I'm starting to have fun with it. So that's really what the membership is about. So how does it work? Every month there's a topic. And the topic of the month is a tool, it's a concept. And even if you apply one of these concepts to your life, they are transformative. But I am building on them from month to month. So I would recommend at least putting yourself in the room, in the Path to Purpose membership for a year to get the full benefit, and maybe then even continue if you really love it and you want to keep deepening. But it's really, these tools have been life-changing for me in terms of learning how to thrive, learning how to be a creator, not just a consumer in my life, and really learning how did I create this awesome, wild, wonderful life. I was one of the people that used to always say, but how? And my coach would say, you need to learn to feel better. And I would be like, but how? Just tell me how. And nobody can tell you how until you do it and you apply it and you practice it and wow, now I get it. It's like an aha moment. What does the membership offer you? So it offers you a monthly topic and a workbook and 4 live sessions. So we meet once a week for a group live session. That's where the community happens. That's where we play together. That's where we apply the tools together, the tool of the month, and we learn from each other. And it's fun, it's wild, and it's emotional. It'll be all the things. But that's where really the juice happens, is in the live sessions. So I'm really going to encourage people who come into the membership to come to the live sessions, even though they're all recorded. And I've got some people who are in the membership now who just want to do it as a self-study. And that's also okay. So it's always about you meeting yourself with where you're at and understanding your own emotional nervous system. Live sessions might not be for you, but I'm always going to encourage you to come and to extend your comfort zone. And there'll also be bonus sessions. Every now and then I'll do a bonus call because I'm constantly learning. This year, I have been accepted and invited with a very special scholarship, so I could do it, to work with my favorite neuropsychologist whose work I love. She's running a year-long program called the Year of Energy. And I'm learning so much from her and this is also part of the learning and the knowledge that I'm applying with her that I can bring into my membership. And of course, I'm learning French. So the third thing I want to say to you is the monthly topics are going to range really from learning an awareness tool of how a framework of what happens, how we experience our life is not by what happens outside. It's not about the situations in our life. It's actually about how we create meaning of the situations from the inside. So we experience our relationships, we experience our situations, everything we first experience from the inside. We think it's the bad weather, it's the boss that shouted at us, it's the reason that the fact that we have a headache, that is what's causing our experience. It's not. It's how we experience it from the inside. I teach you an awareness tool of how you can see for yourself and uncover and discover for yourself how on earth does it happen from the inside. And then we're going to do extensive work on our emotions. Where we leak our emotions, there's really two types of emotions. There's emotional pain and there's emotional power. Emotional power is when we transfer our energy and it rises and we feel positive. Emotional pain comes from the overs. It comes from when we leak our energy in over busyness, in over doing and over giving and over pleasing, in overeating and over shopping and over scrolling, all the overs. And then we'll also go into our relationships. So how do we create these beautiful, healthy, meaningful relationships? So the first part is really all about who am I, the self-awareness. And then we go into connection. Then towards the end of the year, we'll go more into creation. Like, how do we now create with all of these tools that we've got now? Let's start creating. Let's start creating. Let's have some goals. Let's start to organize our brains. So that's in a nutshell what the program is about and how I've structured it. I'm so excited about it. For the founding members, whoever comes in now, you are locking in the price, the membership price now. It's going to change. But for now, you are going to be a founding member. I'm going to invite you to really walk this path with me. And we're going to experiment together. We're going to see what works. And we're going to have community. If this resonates for you and you're not quite sure, then WhatsApp me or send me an email and get on a call with me. And I'll be happy to have a quick call with you just to explore if this is really something that's for you at this time in your life, or whether it's something you might want to look at later, or maybe not at all. And all of it is good. One of the most beautiful lessons and that I've learned in the last 8 years is I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. So WhatsApp me, let me know if you're keen. Let's get on a call and let's walk the road less traveled together. I invite you.